Hello everyone. In this video I want to do some talking about this iBook G4 that I have up on the bench. This was my daily driver for a couple of years, around 2009, 2010, and then I got my 2010 27-inch iMac, and this was still used as a portable, but kind of was phased out in favor of the much newer, much more expensive machine. As I said, I bought this in 2009 or so, and it was right around the time when PowerPC had definitely been phased out, but was still usable to some extent. Most software was maybe still supporting, but probably at the end of support for PowerPC-based Macs, and it was still very usable for somebody like me who just wanted to chat with his friends and play some games and browse the internet. This one was purchased, I believe, for $140 off of eBay. In fact, it was purchased by my dad because at the time I wasn't old enough to have an eBay account. I think you have to be 16 or something. Yeah, wasn't old enough for that, so I had him bid on it and bid on it and bid on it, and eventually we won it for $150, which at the time was probably a fair price. I don't think it was an exceptionally good price, but definitely didn't get scammed or anything. So that's how I ended up with this iBook G4 in the first place. Now, a couple of issues that it did have at the time, and I've since either fixed them or, well, it still has those issues. First one is with the keyboard. This is a proper iBook G4 keyboard, but mine, when I got it, shipped with an iBook G3 keyboard, an iBook G3 Snow, to be specific. It's the same body style as the iBook G4s. This is 12-inch, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. But the keyboard connector is ever so slightly different. I think the ribbon cable is either like a centimeter too short or too long, or just not quite in the right position. And when that keyboard cable's in there, it causes a little bit of a bump on this side of the spacebar. So I remember very vividly chatting to my friends online and hitting the spacebar and it wouldn't register and be like, oh, that's so irritating. I'd have to backspace and hit it just right. Could never really hit it on this side because it wouldn't work. But I remember that being an issue. Now I restored this iBook G4 maybe about a year ago, maybe a little less than that, and I cleaned it up, got it looking really nice, made sure everything was working so I could use it again, and well, then I kind of lost interest for a little while, but I got interest again, which is why it is out. And in doing that, I believe it was then, maybe it was before that, but I replaced the keyboard with a proper iBook G4 keyboard that it looked, at least at the time, although looking at it now maybe not, looked to be brand new. It was at least very white and matched the color of the rest of the iBook, so that's really what I was going for. A nice, clean iBook. Now when I was restoring it, I took it most of the way apart, cleaned everything, got everything working again, and I did have one little issue, and you can see it right up at the top right corner, and that is I broke part of the bezel, or rather it chipped part of the bezel. Now this isn't the biggest deal, it happens, but ever since I've done it, I always see it now. It's very distracting to me, and I'm upset that I even lost the piece so I couldn't just glue it back in. But it is what it is, it doesn't affect functionality, and I'm certainly not going to pay money for that part. It would just be silly. But otherwise, the inside looks to be in very good shape, which is awesome. Now we will boot this up in a minute and go around and probably install some software on it, but we'll take a look at the rest of it first. So for a white, I think these are polycarbonate Mac, the older, or rather the more recent MacBooks, I don't mean more recent, the newer than this MacBooks with the white polycarbonate shell, and I guess the unibody ones of that same type, they all scratch. And you can kind of see that if I move it up and down a little bit. Maybe more if I move it closer. Kinda. Anyway, they scratch a lot, and this one has made it through life relatively unscathed. It's definitely got some scratches from regular use, but it was really maintained well before it got to me, and I maintained it pretty well since it's been in my possession. Nothing really to speak of there, I guess. Around the sides, nothing to mention, nothing happened on the back or there. Let's take a look at the bottom. I, at one point, had a laptop cooling pad attached to the bottom of this thing, and in hindsight, it didn't do crap. Oh, yeah, focus? Let's just lock you. It wouldn't have done anything. It would have just blown air out the back, but it wasn't sucking in very much air from here because, well, this is a plastic shell. It just was kind of silly to have it on there, but at the time I thought it was cool. I don't know. It had blue LEDs in it, I guess. I still have the Velcro on here because I took this Velcro off, and although now it does seem to be coming off pretty well. Basically, I didn't want to scratch up the bottom of it too much, but now that I've worked at a place where I refurbish computers all day, every day, I've learned a technique with a razor blade to get the gunk off there and not scratch up the laptop as much as possible. So, forgot this was even here, honestly, but today I think, after I finish making this video, I'll go ahead and clean this up, probably take that off as well. It doesn't need to be there. And probably remove the stickers as well. I mean, the stickers don't mean anything. As far as I can tell, they're not related to a serial number. They're just on there from whoever owned this last. And lastly, I remember this being an issue because I put an adhesive bit of Velcro over the top. I couldn't get the battery out, so I always had to peel it back and then peel it up to remove this. Although, with that said, I probably didn't remove the battery very much. Now, this battery still holds a charge. I don't know for how long, or if it does anymore, because it has been about a year since I last charged this thing. But it is the original battery that came with this when I bought it, assuming it's original at least. Try to get this with my fingernail. Not always the best idea. So yeah, there is the outside of this iBook G4. So I'm going to flip it over, open it up, plug it in, and grab some CDs, and we'll get to playing around a little bit with the software side of this iBook G4, and if I think of anything else about my history using it, I'll probably mention it then. Alright, got it plugged in. Let's fire it up because it will take a little while to boot up. Speakers sound great, and I heard the slot-loading optical drive do its little self-test, so everything seems to be in good shape so far. There's the screen. These things do take a while to boot up. Now this has always been an issue, this bruise on the screen, as well as this one where the keyboard sits. Now that looks a lot worse on camera now that I'm looking at it. It's much more noticeable. But that has been an issue since day one when I had it. Now it's interesting, and I see this on a lot of older Macs, and this wasn't much of an issue before, but I do see what looks like the spotlight kind of brightness issue in the corners of the screen here. Not a big issue. Usually that will fix itself as the machine is on, and stay that way fixed. I mean, after it's been on for a little while. So yeah, we'll let that warm up a little bit, and hopefully that issue will resolve itself. So we have a clock battery issue, obviously, because, well, the battery is dead, and I also took the battery out, so that's not a surprise there. But oh. It's connected to Wi-Fi. That's why the time and date set itself. I was very confused because it just told me time and date was wrong, but it is indeed Saturday, September 26, 2020. And it is 5:40 p.m. Awesome. I'm going to zoom in on the screen a little bit and get you a better angle. Actually, never mind. I can't do that because the iBook is as close to the tripod as I can get, and the tripod can't move any farther forward. So we'll just have to do with this distance for filming the screen. Wow, that bruise looks very, very bad. Fortunately, I don't think there's a way to get those out without disassembling the LCD. Now, if I remember correctly, this is a 1.07 gigahertz PowerPC G4 with 1 gig of RAM. 1.07 with half gig of RAM. That sounds correct. Although I do remember it having 768 now that I think of it. Maybe I'm remembering that incorrectly. Let's see what the RAM sticks looks like. I think these have 256 built on, or built in. Yeah, 256 built in, 256 additional. Maybe I'll have to dig up a 512 meg stick out of my memory drawer. Oh, that white balance is quite off, isn't it? Nope, nope, that is as good as it's gonna get. Alright, whatever. So, well, I'll take a look at that. This probably has a, what, 30 gig hard drive? Nope, it has an 80 gig hard drive. I may have replaced that. CD-ROM drive, so can't read DVDs. And no idea what GPU. ATI Mobility Radeon 9200. So, yeah, those are the specs of this iBook. Now, I'm kind of hesitating here because I'm trying to remember what I was doing with this the last time I was using it. I think, unfortunately, when I was refurbishing all of I think I bought 40 iBook G3 and G4s, probably 10 years ago, I accidentally erased this one, thinking that it was one that I was refurbishing. So my original installation of whatever I had on here is gone, which really sucks because it was probably quite a time capsule for the time. But after I refurbished it maybe a year ago, I think I installed a bunch of other stuff on it, trying to get it back to how I remember it. So we got a couple games. I don't know what these are even from. Probably one of the Mac Addict CDs. Let's try this out, see how it runs. I'm gonna guess very poorly. Can't skip that. Alright. Let's do well, I guess it's a demo, so I can only do a quick race. Never played this game before. I don't even remember putting it on here. Not a game I would have played back in the day. I was more of actually I have it here, more of a Bugdom and Sims kind of person. I think Sims might be on here. I'll have to check that after this loads. And drive. Ooh, that sounds slow already. I don't know how to drive. Oh, okay. Those are not keys I would have expected. Alright. Well, quality game. Don't know what I'm doing, but we're gonna quit that right away. Quit that. Force quit that? No? No? Okay, well, that's irritating. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, we'll not be playing that. In fact, I want to play this so little that I'm just going to put it in the trash. Bugdom. No, Sims. I thought I had the Sims installed. I guess not. Alright, Bugdom 2. Hopefully I don't need a disk for this. I need a serial number to run it properly. Yeah, that looks good. Hopefully it won't chug too much. I played the Bugdom 2 quite a bit, but I played Bugdom, the original one, a lot. I just remember this game being so different from the original one that I just didn't like it very much. Well, this doesn't run too badly so far. I don't have a mouse. I remember the silly, happy music. Seems like my left arrow isn't working very well. My right arrow works, the left one, not so much. I'll have to investigate that.
Well, hello, Skip. I'll give you an
Get away
apple
from me.
for an acorn.
I'll bring you an acorn.
Thank you, Skip. Here you go.
Why, thank you for humping my face. This is the PG channel, so we're gonna get out of that. Just kidding, it's not a fucking PG channel. 10.4 Fox I had installed on here. I think this is the version that works best with G4 CPUs. And this game is actually really cool on Racer. It used to be called, although I don't think it's in development anymore, Dolphinity Racer? Something like that. I don't see it installed on here though. So maybe I never actually got around to playing it on this particular installation, but yeah, this was a super cool game for the time. Looking back on it, not so great. And there was always one car I'd drive that was a mod. It was a Mercedes diesel, and I'd drive the hell out of that thing. It was so cool. But I can't find that. Wow. The quality is abysmal. And that's about it. Yeah, I'm driving. I remember this was an interesting one. You drive with the mouse. You move it up to go forward, and well, I can't figure out how to go down a gear, but you, yeah, that. My goodness, I've screwed up this game too. Yeah, that was a cool game. Don't know if it's even available anymore. Probably won't work on new Macs because it's a 32-bit application, but yeah, cool to play that again. What else? I don't know. Let's pick a random Mac Addict CD. I have all of these in their original packaging. We're just going to pick this one. So this one is 62 from probably 2001. October of 2001, down there in the corner. Interesting to see if the CD drive works. Sounds like it did. Pretty clunky. Or as the kids say, chonky. I can't believe I just said that. Ooh, it sounds like it's struggling a bit. There it goes. Now I think these had like a interactive demo or something. I never used these back in the day, but I discovered them recently and they're pretty freaking cool. While that loads, because I think that optical drive is going bad, we got the Y2K disc for January 2000, Ice-T on Macs and digital audio, March 2000, April 2000, October 2000. This one I particularly like the styling of it, just because it has the G4 cube on the front. I think that's really cool. I mean, all of these are so early 2000s, they just look so cool. This one has an iMac G3 on the front. That one would be cool to load on my iMac G3. August 2001, November 2001. Yeah. A lot of cool stuff. Okay, this one, we got the tours. I think those are what we're looking for. Load up the old tour. Oh, no, we don't want to load classic. That'll take too long. Carbon tour. I don't know what this symbol is. It shows up sometimes on Mac Addict CDs. It seems to happen. Hopefully there won't be any copyrighted music or something like that. That's an interesting sound. Ooh, that optical drive is struck. What in the fresh hell is going on? Graphical issue? That looks not good on the screen. Ooh, it might be time to replace that optical drive. Sounds like it's about to give up. Well, this is fun. I guess that is going to be it for this video. Ooh, that is hard to look at. There it goes. Good. Finally gone. Videos and goodies. Any good things in here? Bert's Unix tutorial. Alright, we'll try to watch this. We'll see if it streams off the disk or not. This looks like an app. It wants to start in classic. And you know what? For the hell of it, let's start classic. I never had classic mode or classic environment running on this iBook previously, and that's something I did recently. But I wanted to have it because at one point I thought my iMac G3 was about to give up the ghost. It's making some weird sounds, but I eventually figured that out. And I wanted Mac OS 9 on something so that I could use it if I wanted to, and of course it runs very well on here. It is nice seeing that classic bar up at the top. I may use arrow keys instead. Well, okay. Is this really just going to be... Oh. An open terminal. Move the cursor to the bottom of the screen and click the Finder icon at the far left. My Finder icon? Oh. But there it is. Click the Mac OS disk. So it's interesting to me that this required me to boot the classic environment for a tutorial that is based on Mac OS, but looks like 10.2 maybe. Click the applications folder. Do it. Don't you tell me what to do, Bert. Nice iMac G3 icon right there. I like it. No, it's just telling me to do it. You know what? You can't tell me what to do. I can't read. Alright, well, that is enough screwing around with the iBook G4 on video for now. I'm going to go ahead and actually have all the Mac Addict ISOs, every single one, on my server. So I'm going to probably go ahead and pull those down, go through some software tonight, find some of the cool stuff, and play around with that tonight. I think that'll be fun. So with that said, I am going to go ahead and end this video. I'm thanking you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and if you want to see any... I don't know what else you would want to see about this iBook G4, but if there's anything, let me know, or any suggestions for future videos, let me know. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.